Heard of political risk or credit risk insurance? These are some of the products. They are new on the Ugandan market and brought on board by the African Trade Insurance Agency. This is an institution that is rated second to African Development Bank, that is in position to support investments by investors in any country here in Africa. And next is the details of an exclusive interview with Peter Jones, the Chief Executive Officer of the African Trade Insurance Agency.
We will insure you against the government doing something bad against you, taking an adverse action or not doing something that they're supposed to do. This is known as political risk. And for example, it would be the government taking a business or an investment without paying for it, which is technically known as expropriation. And so why this is important for Uganda and why it's important for the people and employees in Uganda is that it does bring investment into the country. The second thing that we do is we provide what's called credit risk insurance. And basically what that is doing is protecting a company against the person who's buying their products or their services against not paying for it. And again, this is particularly important in this time of financial stress because Ugandan exporters are having to compete with other companies from other countries, both within Africa and without Africa, and they need to be able to offer the most attractive terms and conditions for their product.
You don't deal with individuals, which is okay. For us here in Uganda, we've got other institutions that do support investors. And these institutions are like Uganda Investment Authority, Uganda Export Promotion Board. For the viewer to be able to understand you more, we would like you to elaborate more on the objectives of the Africa Trade Insurance and how can a Ugandan be in position to benefit from you more.
So what we're doing is we're providing cover that benefits directly to the man and woman in the street, cover that is currently excluded. And we do that by working with the local insurers. So they will now provide that cover to you, so that if your car is destroyed for whatever reason in a civil disturbance, then you would be able to claim against them. And they would then insure that risk back to the African Trade Insurance Agency. So we would take that risk away from them. And then in turn, we share that risk with the international insurance community.
Different products, you've already mentioned, but how are Ugandans going to benefit from the African Trade Insurance Agency? And more so, how are your services different from what other institutions here in Uganda have been providing in terms of supporting the investors?
Okay. Yes, I would say we work closely with the Ugandan Investment Authority and with the Export Promotion Agency. Now, what we're doing is we're supporting them and their exporters to export safely. And with the Investment Authority, we're working with them to attract investment into Uganda to create more employment. So our interests and our products are fully in line with and support the objectives of those two institutions. Why is this important for the average Ugandan? It's important because their employers need to continue to be successful and succeed in a difficult marketplace. And they can only do that with the assistance not just of the Export Promotion Agency and the Investment Authority, but with institutions like the African Trade Insurance Agency, because we're protecting their employer from the adverse effects of the world market. What does that mean? That means that employment is protected, employment is expanded as the business succeeds and goes forward, and it means that Ugandan companies are able to use a phrase, punch above their weight because they have the support of the African Trade Insurance Agency.
You just strengthened your presence here in Uganda by officially launching your office. We would also need to know, or the viewer right now would like to understand, to what extent are you going to be in position to create awareness about these products and more so engage Ugandans to be part and parcel of the beneficiaries of these products?
Okay. The agency is headquartered in Nairobi, Kenya, However, when we were formed, we were actually officially launched in Kampala in 2001 under the auspices of His Excellency President Museveni. And over the years we've found that having a central location doesn't allow us to access and to go directly to our customers within our member countries. So we decided that we should be opening as one mechanism to develop and to promote the products, to open field offices. And therefore it was appropriate that we should open our first field office here in Kampala, Uganda. And we're very proud of that fact, and I hope that Ugandans are also proud of that fact. And what we'll be doing is we have an underwriter based here who will be engaging with industry, with banking, with the insurance companies, with the export promotion agency, with the investment authority, and with all of the industrial associations to deal with flower and agricultural exports, fish, and so on. So to deliver the message consistently.
That is the credit crunch, as it's known, has created a great fear to developing countries that include Ugandans. And I would like us to go more onto that, especially now that you come in with these products, that is the political risk and credit risk assurance. How are you in position to tackle these products in terms of implementing them and putting them into use? And then you also foresee the function of not being affected by the credit crunch?
The credit crunch is obviously impacting everybody in the world, developed and developing countries alike. And therefore there's a reduced pool of investors available, there's a reduced pool of people willing to buy products as people cut back on their spending. So what is important is that Uganda, and in fact all our member states, are in a position whereby they can attract incremental investment, be able to export and punch above their weight, so to speak. And so with investment insurance, for example, there is investment happening, and we deal with international investors all the time, and they understand that investing in Africa is a very attractive and profitable proposition. What they're concerned about is that a perception that, as I said, what we call political risk, the actions of the government may do something that would damage that investment.
In objectives, why you've been in position to come and even officially launch your office here in Uganda, the benefits are enormous and they benefit Ugandans as well. And we are glad that your presence is also in the 5 East African countries. And not only the 5 East African countries, the African Trade Insurance Agency boasts of having the 13 member states. So my question here is, how are you in position to be able to balance the demand?
We're able to support all of our membership because as each member joins, so they subscribe additional capital to the agency to increase the resources available for us to support trade and investment. In addition, we can have membership from non-African states, from other international institutions, and also from private corporations. So they too provide additional capital to support our business in Africa, but that capital can only be used for the benefit of companies and investees and exporters in African member states.